The parking lot was half empty when the first shout came. Not panic, not fear. Excitement, the kind that pulls people toward danger instead of away from it. Yo, that's Ali. Muhammad Ali? Yeah, man, right there. Within 30 seconds, a crowd started forming. 10 people became 20, 20 became 40. Spilling out from the diner next door, coming from cars parked nearby, materializing from the Chicago night, like witnesses summoned to something they didn't understand yet, but knew they couldn't miss. The date was June 1970. The location was a truck stop off I-94, just south of the city. The kind of place where long-haul drivers stopped for coffee at 2 a.m. And the fluorescent lights hummed loud enough to drown out conversation. Ali had pulled in driving a Lincoln Continental, alone, just wanting a burger and fries before the long drive back to his training camp. He never got the burger, because standing between him and the diner entrance was a man who looked like he'd been carved from concrete and bad intentions. 6'5", maybe 300 pounds. Not fat, thick. The kind of thick that comes from moving heavy things and hitting heavy things and being hit back. His face told stories, scar tissue over both eyes. A nose that had been broken so many times it didn't point in any particular direction anymore. Knuckles that looked like calcified weapons. He wore a sleeveless denim shirt despite the cool night air, and his arms were covered in ink that had faded to blue-green ghosts of whatever they used to be. Prison tattoos. The man stood in the center of the parking lot with his arms crossed, watching Ali approach. Not moving, not speaking. Just watching with the kind of patience predators have when they know the prey is coming to them. Ali saw him. Of course he saw him. You don't become heavyweight champion of the world without developing a sixth sense for danger, for violence waiting to happen. But Ali didn't change direction. Didn't slow down. Just kept walking toward the diner entrance, his stride easy and relaxed, like he was alone. The man stepped into his path. Ali stopped. 6 feet of distance between them, close enough to matter, far enough to leave options. The crowd went quiet. People stopped moving, stopped talking. Everyone suddenly aware they were watching something that might get out of control fast. The man spoke first. His voice was gravelly, damaged, like he'd spent years shouting or smoking or swallowing things that scarred him from the inside. Muhammad Ali. Not a question, a statement. Ali didn't respond, just looked at him. Direct eye contact. No aggression, no submission, just looking. I've been waiting for this, the man said. Waiting for what? Ali's voice was calm. Conversational. To see if you're real. I'm real. Nah. The man shook his head slowly. You're a boxer. That ain't real. Someone in the crowd whispered, "Oh shit." Ali's expression didn't change. That right? That's right. The man took one step closer. Now there were maybe 4 feet between them. You fight in a ring, with rules, with a ref, with gloves on, with doctors waiting. That ain't real fighting. That's a game. Ali tilted his head slightly. And you know about real fighting. I know about surviving. The man lifted his shirt slightly, revealing a scar that ran from his ribs to his hip, thick, jagged. The kind of scar that comes from getting opened up and barely making it to help in time. I know about what happens when there ain't no bell to save you. The crowd had grown. Maybe 60 people now, forming a loose circle. Nobody getting too close. Nobody leaving either. This was the kind of thing people would talk about for years. The night Muhammad Ali got confronted in a truck stop parking lot by a man who looked like he ate violence for breakfast. You got a name? Ali asked. Everybody calls me Hatcher. That your real name? Real enough. Okay, Hatcher. Ali's hands stayed loose at his sides. Not in fists. Just hanging. Natural. What you want? I want to see if the ring made you soft. There it was. The challenge. Clear. Direct. No way to misunderstand. The crowd held its breath. Ali looked at Hatcher for a long moment, really looked at him, taking in the scars, the dead eyes, the stance of someone who'd spent their entire life fighting for scraps and respect and the right to wake up the next morning. "You think I'm soft," Ali said quietly. "I think you never been in a real fight. Not the kind where somebody might actually kill you. And you have. More times than I can count." "Where?" Ali asked. "Where you been in these real fights?" "Joliet, Stateville, county lockup, the street, everywhere that matters." "You just get out?" Hatcher's jaw tightened. 6 months ago, what were you in for? What do you care?" "I'm curious." "Assault. Aggravated. Did 4 years." Ali nodded slowly. "And now you're out, and you looking to prove something." "I'm looking to show people that all you famous fighters are just entertainers. You wouldn't last 10 seconds in a real situation." The crowd murmured. Some people agreed. Some looked horrified. Some just wanted to see what happened next. Ali took a breath. Long. Deep. Like he was deciding something. "Let me ask you something, Hatcher." "Ask." "You want to fight me because you think it'll make you famous? Make you somebody?" Hatcher's face darkened. "I don't give a damn about famous." "Then why?" "Because I'm tired of people like you acting like you're dangerous. You're not dangerous. You're a performer. And I'm tired of performers getting respect that should go to real fighters. Real fighters like you." "Yeah, like me." Ali was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that made the entire crowd lean forward. "Okay. Just that. One word." Hatcher's eyes widened slightly. "Okay, what?" "You want to fight. Let's fight." The parking lot erupted. People shouting, some cheering, some yelling for someone to call the police. But nobody moved. Nobody left. They just pressed closer, forming a tighter circle, creating an arena out of asphalt and bad lighting. But Ali held up one hand. The crowd went quiet again. "But not the way you thinking," Ali said. Hatcher frowned. "What's that mean?" "It means we gonna fight, but on my terms." "You don't get terms. That's the whole point." "You want to fight me or not?" Hatcher hesitated. Suspicious. "What's your terms?" Ali pointed to an empty section of the parking lot. "We stand right there, face to face, and you get one free shot." The crowd gasped. Hatcher stared. "What?" "One free shot," Ali repeated. "Best punch you got. I won't block, won't dodge, won't move. You just hit me as hard as you can." "You're crazy." "Maybe, but that's the deal. You get one free shot, then we see if the ring made me soft." Someone in the crowd shouted, "Don't do it, champ." Ali ignored them. His eyes stayed locked on Hatcher. Hatcher looked confused, angry, like this wasn't going the way he expected. "And if I knock you out?" "Then you were right. I'm soft. Just an entertainer. And everybody here will know it." "And if you don't go down?" Ali smiled. "Small. Dangerous. Then you'll know what real fighting looks like." The silence was complete. Even the highway noise seemed to fade. Hatcher's hands flexed, opened, closed, opened again. He was thinking, calculating. This wasn't what he wanted. He wanted a brawl, wanted chaos, wanted to drag Ali down into the dirt and prove that technique and speed and all those pretty boxing skills meant nothing against raw violence. But Ali had just offered him something better. A guaranteed shot. No defense. Just Hatcher's best punch against Ali's chin. How could he say no? "All right," Hatcher said finally. "Let's do it." They walked to the empty section of the parking lot. The crowd followed, forming a circle about 15 feet in diameter. People were pulling out cameras now. This was 1,970. No cell phones. But some people had Polaroids, small film cameras, anything to document what they were seeing. Ali stopped in the center of the circle. Hatcher stopped across from him, maybe 6 feet away. Come closer, Ali said. Hatcher took 2 steps forward. Now there were maybe 3 feet between them. Closer. Another step. 2 feet now. Close enough that Hatcher could smell Ali's cologne. Close enough to see the absolute calm in Ali's eyes. You ready? Ali asked. You sure about this? I'm sure. You get 1 shot. Make it count. Hatcher stared at him, searching for fear, for doubt, for any sign that Ali was bluffing. There was nothing. Just that same calm, that same absolute certainty. Hatcher stepped back slightly, giving himself room. He rolled his shoulders, cracked his neck, his right hand curled into a fist. A massive fist, scarred and calcified from years of hitting things that didn't want to be hit. The crowd held its breath. Hatcher set his feet, weight on his back leg, right hand cocked. He was going to throw everything he had, every ounce of rage and disappointment and prison yard survival instinct. He was going to try to remove Ali's head from his shoulders. Ali stood perfectly still, hands at his sides, chin slightly forward, eyes open, watching. Hatcher threw the punch. It came fast, faster than something that big should move. A haymaker from hell, rotating from his hips, all 300 pounds behind it. The kind of punch that had ended fights in Joliet. The kind of punch that had put men in hospitals. It never landed. Because in the half-second between Hatcher committing to the punch and the fist reaching Ali's face, Ali moved. Not a block, not a dodge, just moved. A fraction of an inch. His head tilted, his body shifted, minimal, economic. Like he'd calculated the exact trajectory and moved just enough to let the fist pass by his ear, close enough that he could feel the wind from it. Hatcher's punch hit nothing but air. His momentum carried him forward, off balance, and in that moment, that fraction of a second where Hatcher was extended, exposed, completely committed to a punch that hadn't landed, Ali moved again. His left hand came up, not a punch, a touch, palm open. He placed it against Hatcher's chest, right over the sternum, and pushed. Not hard, not violent, just pushed. Hatcher stumbled backward. 3 steps, 4. His arms windmilled as he tried to catch his balance. He didn't fall, but he came close. And when he finally steadied himself, when he looked up at Ali, his face had changed completely. The crowd was silent. Ali stood in the same spot he'd been standing, hands back at his sides, breathing normal, like nothing had happened. That was your free shot, Ali said quietly. Hatcher's chest was heaving, not from exertion, from shock, from the sudden realization of how completely he'd been outclassed. You want another one? Ali asked. Because if we're doing this for real, you're not getting any more free ones. Hatcher stared at him. You could see the calculations happening behind his eyes. The understanding that everything he'd believed about himself, about fighting, about who was dangerous and who wasn't, had just been proven wrong in 3 seconds. Come on, Ali said. His voice was softer now, almost gentle. You wanted to see if I'm real. You wanted to know if the ring made me soft. So come find out. Hatcher didn't move. No? Ali took 1 step forward. You're the real fighter, right? The one who survives. The one who knows what real violence looks like. Another step. So come show me. Hatcher took a step back. Involuntary, instinctive, and the moment he did, everyone in the parking lot knew it was over. Because men like Hatcher, men who'd spent their lives being the scariest thing in the room, don't step backward. Not unless they've just realized they're not the scariest thing anymore. Ali stopped moving. He didn't advance further. Didn't need to. I'm not soft, Ali said. His voice carried across the parking lot. Quiet but clear. I'm not a performer. I'm not just an entertainer. I'm a fighter. Real as they come. I just fight different than you. He paused. You fight like an animal. All rage. All power. No thought. That works sometimes. against people who are scared, against people who don't know better. But it don't work against people who understand what fighting really is. Hatcher's hands had dropped to his sides. Fighting ain't about who's toughest, Ali continued. It ain't about who can take the most damage or who's got the most scars. It's about who's smarter, who's faster, who sees what's coming and knows how to make it miss. Ali tapped the side of his head. You thought the ring made me soft, but the ring made me sharp, made me precise, made me understand that real power ain't about hitting hard. It's about hitting right. The crowd was absolutely silent now, listening to every word. You've been in 100 fights, Hatcher, maybe more, and you survived. That's worth something. That's real. But survival ain't the same as mastery. Ali took a breath. I don't just survive fights. I control them, from the first, second, to the last. That's the difference between me and you. Hatcher's face had gone pale. His jaw was clenched so tight you could see the muscles bulging. You want to know if I'm dangerous? Ali asked. I'm the most dangerous man you'll ever meet. Not because I want to hurt you, because I don't have to. I can end this without throwing a single punch, just by showing you how far you are from where you thought you were. Ali let that settle. Then he did something nobody expected. He extended his hand. You're a fighter, Ali said. A real one. You survive things most people can't imagine. That takes strength. That takes heart. I respect that. Hatcher looked at the extended hand like it was a trap. But you're not better than me, Ali said simply. And deep down, you know it now. The parking lot held its breath. Slowly, like a man moving through water, Hatcher reached out and shook Ali's hand. The grip lasted maybe 2 seconds. When they released, Hatcher looked smaller. Not physically, but diminished. Like something that had been holding him up for years had just collapsed. Go home, Ali said quietly. Train if you want. Get better. But don't come at me with this ring made you soft bullshit. The ring made me what I am. And what I am is something you're not ready for. Hatcher nodded. Once. Barely. Then he turned and walked away. The crowd parted to let him through. He didn't look back. Didn't say anything. Just got in a beat-up truck on the far side of the lot and drove away. The crowd stood there for a moment, processing what they'd just seen. Then someone started clapping, slow at first. Then others joined. Within seconds, the entire parking lot was applauding. Ali didn't acknowledge it, just turned and walked toward the diner entrance like nothing had happened. Someone shouted, Champ, what you gonna do now? Ali paused, looked back, smiled, that $1 million smile. I'm gonna get my burger, he said. I'm hungry. Laughter erupted. The tension broke. People started talking all at once, replaying what they'd seen, arguing about the details, already turning it into legend. Inside the diner, Ali sat at the counter and ordered a burger, fries, and a Coke. The waitress, a woman in her 50s, with tired eyes, brought him water and stared at him for a long moment. That was something, she said finally. What was? What you did out there. I didn't do nothing. Man threw a punch. Missed. That's all. She smiled. You could have hurt him. Yeah. But you didn't. No. Why not? Ali thought about that. Because hurting him wouldn't have taught him nothing. He needed to learn something. Needed to see something. Can't do that if he's unconscious. The waitress nodded slowly. You're a good man, Mr. Ali. I'm just a fighter. No, she said. You're more than that. She walked away to get his food. Ali sat there alone, sipping water, watching the crowd outside slowly disperse. Car doors closing, engine starting. People heading back to their lives, carrying a story they'd tell for the rest of their days. The story of the night a street fighter tried to prove Muhammad Ali was soft, and learned, in 90 seconds, what real power looks like. Not in fists. In certainty. In control. in knowing exactly who you are and what you're capable of, and letting that knowledge speak louder than violence ever could. Ali finished his burger, left a $20 tip, walked out to his Lincoln. The parking lot was empty now, just asphalt and streetlights and the ghost of confrontation. He got in his car, started the engine, and drove into the Chicago night. Somewhere out there, Hatcher was driving too, thinking, processing, understanding that he'd just met someone who operated on a level he couldn't reach. He never challenged anyone to a fight again. And 30 years later, when a writer tracked him down for an interview about Ali's legacy, Hatcher said only this: "I thought I knew what dangerous was. Then I met Muhammad Ali, and I realized I didn't know nothing." That was all. He refused to say anything else. Because some lessons are too big for words. Some moments are too true to explain. You just have to live through them. And remember,